here. Good afternoon, everybody, all the attendees, and I appreciate you all joining. Several people here from various parts of India. Just to again give you a brief background. This is the Industry Teaching Fellows series. We started this a couple of months ago, and with the help of Anil Pandit, who is recently retired from GE, and he has been working with me to develop this program. The idea is that we should bring more and more people from industry, experience and background, to come and work with our engineering education colleges, so that we improve the quality of our engineering graduates in whatever way that's appropriate. So this series is about what we thought it'd be a good idea for the engineering graduates to learn something about what engineers do after they graduate, and some of the social, professional, ethical, other kinds of skills that they need to develop during their career, but at the same time be prepared for it also during their courses also. So we've had several of these, and each one of them gets recorded, and we make them available to colleges who want to use it to play back to their students. So each one of you can play these recordings to your students, maybe in a special seminar course or something for professional skills, and have the students discuss some of these issues that are being brought up by the experts, industry experts. So with that, let me hand this over to Anil Pandit, who will introduce our speaker of today, Aspi Shroff. Aspi, Anil, go ahead. Yeah, Anil first. Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Anil Pandit, and I would like to start with a comment that engineering really helps me to do things for myself and also for the society. That's the basic potential of engineering. Only thing is, why do we do things? When we look at that perspective, then we get into the areas of trying to do something for myself and trying to do something for the society. Now, at the colleges, schools, and all the teaching and learning that is happening gives me the basic principles of how we do it. The basic principles we learn there, and then there is lifelong learning where we continuously go on improvising. But what can we do is a very subtle question, and Aspi is going to answer that. What can we do? We often get a very limited perspective of what we can do. Actually, we can do far more. And if we achieve our full life potential, what we can do is far more to talk about today.
Okay.
Yeah, Aspi, handing over to you.
Okay, Aspi, over to you. I'm going to mute Anil and myself. I'm going to mute for a while.
Hi, I'm Aspi. Can you all hear me and see the screen?
Yes, we can do both. Yeah.
Fine. Okay, let me start. My whole story, I think, is quite different from an engineering story. It's, as Anil put it, it's more about a life story, searching for meaning to life, searching for value to yourself, to society, and what can you do? Basically, I believe as engineers, we are here with a lot of skills, a lot of abilities, intellectual, obviously, and a lot of general abilities, and I do believe we can really expand on that and do something really miraculous, magical with them. So here goes. The personal story is very simple. IIT Bombay 71, it's there on the screen. In those days, we had to look for jobs, and I had to look quite a bit for a job, and then got a very routine job. Not happy with it, to be honest. Okay, it was a job. And the surprising part of it was that the scope was so small. I mean, the amount we were taught in 5 years at IIT, and I was just not able to use anything. I felt quite frustrated. And I felt that there could be so much more breadth to our learning itself. Such a wider scope of learning should be there. And details and this thing in depth can go on, can be picked up on the job. So that is my conclusion, of course. Anyway, let me go ahead. Um, then came a very massive change in my life. Believe it or not, I switched over from engineering field to running an orphanage. I mean, most people still can't believe their ears. What is an orphanage got to do with engineering from IIT? Nothing possibly. I mean, maybe no connection. But anyway, that was a personal decision and a very bad decision. I should have stuck to the job. Things went very bad. I didn't realize, when you're in your early 20s, you're full of idealism, thinking, yay, I'm going to do something with the world and make a change in the world. And, well, it didn't happen at all that way. I realized I had to make lots of changes in myself. So, first of all, there were a lot of financial difficulties. I had given up jobs and house and everything, so I had to get back into earning. But anyway, that is something I must thank IIT as well as, well, the general learning. I found that like I needed to learn about human relationships, communication, business skills, which weren't really taught in IIT. But I had to pick it up. I suppose IIT gave me the confidence to know that I can do it. That is something I really, really thank college. That it said, hey, you can do it. So I had to almost start from scratch, start my own business. I learned a lot and it worked really well. But I guess while the business was going on, that was from 79 to 83, there was still an inner quest, an inner search. Hey, there should be something more to life. There should be something more to life. So side by side, I started reading more and more. I used to read crime and detective novels also, but also quite a bit of philosophy, especially Indian philosophy, which I still find absolutely astounding. The depth and wisdom in Indian philosophy is just out of the world. And I know what I'm talking about. I've spent about 30, 40 years studying philosophy from all over the world. And I know it is Indian and Buddhist, which is the rest are no comparison. And along with, it's not just philosophy as a conceptual thing, so in comes meditation, and along with it, you don't stick to something as a self-learning, it's good to share it. And when you're sharing it with younger people, there's a lot of playfulness. So I had to evolve a whole range of ways in which to do things. When you're, I mean, this is something probably I learned from education, that just lecturing is not the best way of sharing. At least I didn't find it the best way when listening to lectures. So I said, hey, something else should be done. There's something so beautiful, why not share it in some really valuable way which anyone can enjoy? So I learned, and of course I learned in other areas of life also, ecology, holistic living, and why not alternate technologies. Like I have been fooling around with very simple but yet practical and meaningful, like water conservation at a very basic, very simple level. And the technology, to call it technology for all of us in technology would be like a joke. There were times when it was as simple as digging a 6-foot long trench, and instead of having runoff water, it would refill a well. Call it technology or call it common sense, but it made a difference. Then I have worked on, some people helped them to build very low cost solar cookers, which we have shared with villagers. Low cost meaning low cost, costing 40-50 rupees, which does a full scale cooking. And then different forms of working, different ways of looking at work, not just the standard modes of looking for a job. I've put myself in rural areas for some time and looked at life from a different context, learning what does it mean to different people, learning to children, learning in rural areas, learning to underprivileged. There's a whole different world out there. So, yeah, I mean, I've been looking at all these, and out of all this experience, we meaning basically myself, my wife, and now we have quite a a small group. Evokes, worked out a network and a series of activities called possibilities. It's basically, it is playfully experiencing, feeling, knowing, learning something which is inside us. And this I found while sharing, that this is something we never taught. Damn it, I've learned all kinds of everything about everything. I feel, oh God, how much about what happens here and what happens there, and let alone science, even the other knowledge, medicine, geography, history, all kinds of stuff. How little I know about myself. I mean, even if I know, it's more like theory. I mean, have I actually experienced the kind of strength I have? Have I actually felt, known the kind of open mind, the kind of wisdom that I'm capable of? And when I say I mean I, you, all of us, a different kind of peace, a different kind of, well, very different kind of peace. And yes, enthusiasm, that's another major one. How much a lack of enthusiasm I see even in young people, which is really frightening. Friendship, often matlab ka, what will I get out of it, friendship. Another one which has really got me thinking is, shouldn't we be living for a larger purpose? Is life only meant for ourselves or our immediate family or our immediate people? Shouldn't there be a larger purpose to life? And a thankfulness. These are areas which are, well, I have found them left out very badly, and they're very meaningful, very, very major areas in life which actually lead to a celebration. But, and, you know, it was so beautiful that, like everyone, I've also gone through life's ups and downs and fears and tears and messes, and found, hey, these are permanent areas. These don't come and go like anything else. I mean, knowledge, money, friends, so many things just go up and down. But this, which is within us, our possibilities, this is permanent. It stays. So, hey, this is something so very valuable. And by the time I've been starting to share it with others. And then what are the ways of sharing? So there again I see, hey, if you have to share it with someone, you can't share it as a, I'll give you something process. It's not a, I have something and you don't have it, and I, the great benefactor, will give it to you or to humanity, and you poor chap, you need this help from me. That's pure rubbish. The basic belief is it's there in every single human being. So the only sharing that I can do is evoking it. In fact, it's very fascinating that I was reading the meaning of education. The original meaning of education, I think in Latin, is, the Latin word is educere. It's to draw out from within a person. It's not to give, to stuff, to fill in, to nothing of that sort, which unfortunately is what education is tending to become. It's to draw out from within. So, again, what about evoking, drawing out from each human being the unbelievable possibilities we have? Again, to sum up, it's the inner strength, the larger consciousness, the wisdom, a spirit of great purpose in life, a spirit of friendship, enthusiasm, thankfulness, a spirit which lasts, a spirit which goes on. Then, well, we've been for the last so many years, what now, 21 years, we've been sharing this with people, and we've got enormously positive responses. We made friends for life. Some of the people were kids when we started this, and they are youngsters who are grown up and still are friends. And last few years, 5-6 years, we have started a new aspect, getting a group of young people who are now sharing it with others. I mean, come on, I'm close to 70, so why don't feel it? Maybe because of the possibilities. So these young people are really taking it forward in all parts of the country, and a couple of them are doing it in US, in Ireland, and one in Australia. And wow, I feel thrilled. Hey, come on. And yeah, these special ones. Actually, I mentioned 3 are visually handicapped. but the four totally blind. And the way they do this, their presence is shocking. When they talk of strength, I mean, people say, wow, they are talking of strength. And just for an example, a couple of weeks back, three of these blind, totally blind, young people, they're in their late 20s. They finished their masters in philosophy from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. They're doing one of them is doing PhD in IIT, the others are doing PhD in Tata Institute. And they were invited to do a workshop at IIT Bombay with PhD students and the professors. And they did it so well. I mean, I know that PhD students and professors are going to be can be a pretty skeptical lot. So it went so well. I mean, they got all written recommendations and hey, we want repeated sessions, and they were paid beyond their dreams. These kids are all young, they need the money, and they were thrilled. They were telling me, hey, what's happening? I said, yeah, that's the power of possibilities. That's what it's all about. So what do we do actually? A little touch, if I may. How do we, okay, first of all, what have I got out of all this? Yeah, so I think the greatest part is fun. It's really been a fun life. Yeah, it has its ups and downs. I've had negatives also, but on the whole, it's been fun. And if I call it a career, it has been more playfulness than a career. Power of faith in myself. And now I just feel anything can be done. Emotional success, that's a really different one. I really find very few people are getting this in standard jobs. Very, very few. Even creative success, only the lucky few have creative success, and that too it's within a field. Social success, well, yes, if they step out of the field, they find social success. But not, I mean, I'm lucky to get all this while so-called, in quotes, working. And then that is the external, well, whatever external, internal, I don't know. But the internal gain also is a different consciousness about myself, about others, about life, a better thinking, a deeper understanding, accepting failures, and yes, economic satisfaction too. I mean, I don't say I become a multi-millionaire or a billionaire, but yeah, complete satisfaction, I'm fine. So, well, and I think these areas are vital to everyone, each human, and all of humanity. And I was pleasantly surprised to see them as MBA's engineering education, at least parts of it, like engineering and society. Society is the one. Environment and sustainability, very much I am on it. Ethics, communication, certainly lifelong learning. So I took it on, taken it on, learning as a feeling, knowing, experiencing from within. Evoked from the learner. Now, how do I share this? Now, let me give you a little idea. If you can see the pictures. The essence of possibilities, basically it's a spirit of oneness. That is what Indian philosophy is all about. Oneness. It's called Advaita. It means non-duality, non-splitting. And one area we tackle is impossible possibilities going beyond limitations and conditioning. And this is something which every one of us suffers from. This can't be done. This has to be done this way. No, there's no option. How can I? It can't be different. You know, the whole standard in working life, in personal life, in family life, everywhere. So we do a little set of games. Like, I'll just share with you a simple one, okay? Visualize, or maybe if you have it nearby, pick up a small piece of paper, just about 2 inches by 2 inches. All right, just 2 inches by 2 inches. Now, a little challenge. Can you imagine having to make a hole, tear, an opening, call it whatever, through just this 2 inch by 2 inch piece of paper and pass your full body through it? I mean, come on, it sounds stupid, it sounds ridiculous. Passing your whole body through a 2 inch by 2 inch paper. And yet, it can be done. And if you see the first picture, of course, I gave them a little bigger picture of paper. It wasn't 2 inch by 2 inch, it was more probably 6" by 6" or 8" by 8". But these were women with terminal stages of cancer who had totally given up hope. They said, no, forget it, we can't recover nothing, we can't do anything with our lives, it's all over. And their effort and later on the smiles which I got and the statement saying, no, nothing is impossible. Who knows? Who knows? Well, I also don't know what happened later on. But, well, they did something. And the second picture is a group of totally blind people, they're college students, living life independently. The third person from the left, a fourth person, the third visible one, fourth seated one from the left, is called Kailash, is one of our teammates. He's the one who did the workshop at IIT 2 weeks back. And he is absolutely a miracle. I mean, people say, what, you're not blind. We feel more handicapped than you are. He's actually got such problems. Then I go on to the next page. Yeah, so inner strength and then ways of larger consciousness, ways of opening up your consciousness and wisdom. There are many different ways. Again, more of different ways of looking at yourself, different ways of looking at life, being conscious of things more than just your mere narrow vision, your immediate surroundings, be conscious of things around you, larger life, larger world. So that's, I don't think really I can deal with larger consciousness and wisdom right now. But again, we play a little number of games, you know. Actually, they're very simple mind games, and yet I find, funnily enough, engineers fumbling over it. And they were so simple that kids can get them, and yet I know grown-ups, huh? What? Oh, I never thought of it that way. I said, yes, that's the point. You've got to think of things that way. So that is expanding your consciousness. And yes, creativity, now this is something really valuable. And all of us, basically, I believe, have been very creative on job, definitely. But I wanted to, I think a lot of us are capable of expanding our creativity to many different areas. Basically, creativity of mind on job, yes, is there. But creativity of heart is something we need to look at. And creativity applied in very many different directions, not just on job, like holistic thinking, holistic working, ways of interacting. So if you look at the pictures below, the cartoon pictures, it gives you an idea of what I'm trying to say. Incidentally, these cartoon pictures are also drawn by some young media students who are part of the Possibilities team. They said, hey, let's share it in the form of cartoons. It'll be more fun. And yeah, it is more fun. People like to look at it as a cartoon. So we have this big book of possibilities and, the thumbprint of friendship and unique. And both of us are unique, and we can get together and form a friendship out of our uniqueness. We don't, again, we have this limited idea of friendship that we need to merge as if we need to reduce our individuality. No, it's not so. We can remain unique and have a friendship. So that's the heart. The third one is obvious. Yes, the really obvious part, the not too obvious part is stay connected to your inner source of power. And then you can share your light outside. The inner connection is the one which we forget, break. Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter. Because as I keep sharing in my workshops, so what if you've forgotten your inner connection? What happens if you've forgotten your inner strength or your wisdom? Has it gone away? Did it, in the first place, come from outside? Incidentally, we play a little game. We have a group of people. We go around searching in the marketplace. Hey, guys, we go to a shop. Will you sell me some inner strength? Can you sell me some wisdom, please? My college, will you sell me some wisdom? And, well, one does see the comedy of it all. This is something within you. And then if you really understand that it's within you, then we play the next game. Hey, if it was always within you, what is not got from outside, can you really ever lose it? Can it go away? If it is you, where will it go away? that gives us a lot of hope. Nothing actually goes away. It is permanent, it is eternal. At worst, we forget it. And there is a, for those of you who are familiar with Hindi, there's a very beautiful Hindi word. It's the word bhul, which has two meanings. Bhul means forgetting, and bhul also means mistake or a mess. So each time we make a mistake, we make a mess in our lives, any kind of mistake, what has actually happened, we have forgotten the strength, the power, the wisdom, the peace that is within us. That's all. And then the solution is staring you in the face, right in 1 second. Okay, so you've forgotten it. What do you have to do? Remember it. As very simple as that. You don't have to go to the market to get it. You just remember it. It's within you. And then as you live it, it spreads, it shares, and here are some more pictures of how young people are sharing it with enthusiasm, with friendship. There are a lot of different games. The left side picture is a young person who Kailash has taught, and he's sharing it with others. So it's a third generation sharing. Chetan. The right side also is someone, I don't remember who, sharing it with young cancer patients. And if you see their faces, they're actually smiling. So it is something which you can smile at despite cancer and whatever. And then, there's some more pictures of friendship being shared at different places. One is a very economically low fisherman's colony. The second one is with very highly aware youngsters, postgraduate students. So, and sharing, and then we have friendship, and it's sharing, and then more sharing, and basically the feeling of enthusiasm. We take the whole thing that we've learned and throw it into the air and say, yay, it's all in me, I don't even need the papers. So you can see the papers being tossed into the air despite the bad photograph. And so we share these kind of modules. The modules themselves are a blend of basically activities, interactions, creativity, applications, challenges, answers, solutions, and blah, 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 blah. And all leading to a full life success. And you can see the picture there. This is an actual activity, by the way. It's beautiful. We give people a tiny seed, which people say, what's this? I mean, what is this? It's so small, it's the size of a full stop. It's probably the weight of a full stop. And people say, what are you giving me? I say, just look at it. And then, if possible, I take people to a banyan tree. Now look at this. This is what this becomes. First, it was invisible, no weight, no value, no economic, nothing. And this is its power. This is the possibilities within you, within each of us. Looks like nothing, and it spreads into a banyan which grows into, which has a width of, I've heard, 400-500 feet in width. So that's possibilities. And I think I'll switch over to questions, if any.
Wow, I think that's fantastic, Aspi. That's really a fantastic presentation so far. Very impressive. Thank you for sharing, and I probably open it up for audience to think about, reflect on, and send questions, or if they want to be unmuted, talk. That can be done too. I'm particularly impressed with how you have brought out the concept of education. The definition of education is drawing something out rather than filling up students with something from outside, and then the full possibilities, and how we can connect all that to, in fact, perhaps in the wisdom of NBA and outcome-based education, they've actually opened up these possibilities for students to have the attributes that you're talking about for full life success. So while we are waiting for comments and questions, perhaps you can you talk about these modules and having done these things at at IITs and so on, and so obviously this is something that you are willing to offer to people who are interested. How does that work? If a college says, hey, come on over with your team and help us explore our possibilities, what do you normally do in such a situation?
Normally, within Bombay, I'm going myself.
Mm-hmm.
If it's out of Bombay, I ask some of these younger people to take it over, and they have been going. Yeah, I think that's it, though we have not been going very far. But then the people who have gone abroad and all, they've shared it over here while they were in Bombay. And now that they're familiar with it, they go and do it in the college, well, in Australia or Ireland or things like that. So those are a few people who are already familiar with it, and they share it.
What is the form of this? How long does if you were to package it into a workshop or a session, what does it look like?
To be really effective, it needs about 10 hours.
10 hours? Okay, so that's pretty much one whole day, kind of early morning.
No, preferably spread out, even more.
Even more, 2-3 days. Okay, so it's a
It should be spread out. It has a lot of in-depth effect. The more it's spread out.
Okay, you don't want it to be rushed. Okay, so it's maybe 3-4 days, 2 hours each, or something like that. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Wow, this is fantastic. Let's see, audience. Anybody wants to chat with Aspi? Here's your opportunity. Yogendra Hirani, Vidya Kulkarni, Venumada Gopala, Thani, Selvi Satyendra Bhatt, Rajesh Solanki, R.I.K. Murthy, Prasenjit Patil, Prakash Bapat, Jayant Sate, J.P. Talari, Harsh Patel, Chinmay Desai, Chaya Patel, Shiv Kumar Verma, Ashok Shukla, and many others. In the meantime, maybe I can just unmute Anil, chat a little bit with Anil. You want to unmute yourself? And then maybe ask Jayant to make some comments. And others, I know many of you here are really into these kinds. Will be able to talk about these things. Let's say what happened to Jayant? Okay, Jayant, how are you doing, my friend? I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, hey Krishna.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. I am very honored that I can say something about this program because when I reconnected with Aspi about 5 years ago, we had lost contact after graduating from IIT. And he started to tell me about this. And I said, I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean. Can I see an event? And so I went with him to a municipal school, Hindi speaking, in Parel, in India, in Bombay. And Aspi and his wife, the team, and they are phenomenal. And the children were, just wrapped up. Nobody even said, I want to go to bathroom or can I step out? And Aspi and his wife, Aspi is mostly the presenter, his wife is the brain behind all this. It took him about, 4 hours, Aspi, I think you were doing it. And I was totally impressed how these students were absorbed in it and how much they got out of it. And I've been talking with Aspi since then about taking it to other places. So we keep working on it. But this is really wonderful. I wish I had this when I was going through my engineering program in IIT. I think it would have opened up my mind. This whole idea of education is pulling something out of the person versus just cram it from this book and reproduce it in the exam. I think that's a very powerful concept. And, we played with it. Aspi and I have played with it with other places. And it works. The old Greeks used to do that. They used to teach like that, just pulling it out of the people's heads. So, yeah, this is worth trying. I think any engineering program can give Aspi and his team a try. And I think you'll see that the students are a lot more receptive to everything going on. They learn a lot better after they think about this because, like Aspi says, it's the Atma Shakti or the personal strength that you help people to access, So I am really thrilled with this. That's all I can say.
Great, thank you, Jayant. I think they couple with a few comments and questions coming up. I think Prasenjit Patil, along the same lines, I have a suspicion that they will all have similar thoughts like I had. How do we how do we get Aspi to do this at more places, or at least or train others to do this. Maybe some of the other people that he's working with maybe go to places where this can be done, and it's I think it's fascinating that this is kind of what the well-rounded engineer, the personality of the engineer comes out, and so that's what Prashant is saying. How would I going to work if we want to implement at our institute? So that's the question there. You might want to address that. Prakash Bapat from Pune says, never heard of such possibilities as techno-commercially feasible business model. Great and absolutely amazing. Wishing to know more about the workshop conducted at IIT Bombay. Any separate PowerPoint on that or on the contents? Then Ajit Shukla from RK University says, how do we, is there some way to quantify the outcomes? I mean, he's looking at it from from an NBA, I mean, from an accreditation perspective, and say, can we find some metrics to use to quantify? I mean, although it probably goes against the philosophy of this whole program, but still, is there some way that we can capture the outcome? I mean, obviously there is a beautiful outcome even just after a 4-hour workshop, and maybe the outcome can be in the form of maybe maybe just simple conversations by the people who have experienced it and talking about it. It doesn't have to be an exam or a grade or anything. It is just the conversations that come out of it and expressions of how they connect with each other and with society and with sustainability and with and environment and so on. So that's great. Jayant wants to have one more experience to share if time allows. Sure, please do that. I think you're Anil, I have unmuted you, Anil. I think there's something that in your device that needs to be clicked on for you to unmute yourself. Jayant, go ahead if you want to add, share another experience. And then we'll go back to Aspi and have him comment on what we've been talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Aspi got me in touch with and asked me if I could do a presentation of like a coaching training session at the St. Xavier's College. These were the final year, I think, communication students, and I was talking about success in life and how do you plan it and how do you measure it and how do you achieve it. And I go through from my learning from the corporate America and the MBA side of the business, and coming from that about personal satisfaction, and then the other half of that was Aspi talking from the possibilities point of view, the stuff that Aspi does. And it is so amazing that everything that we learn in business school or in the corporate world, in the training and development, all of that is possible here right through what Aspi does. And we both ended up at the same results of what people would get out of this work. This was just amazing.
Wow. Great. Anil, I think you still haven't figured out how to unmute yourself, I think. Let me see. I can't help you there. I think initially you had that thing. So go ahead, Aspi, back to you. Comment on the comments and reactions.
Yeah, I was asked this question about quantifying the effects. I think the answer lies in quality. And there, the measurement of quality, there are criteria. It's not just some vague stuff, I've done something and let's see type of thing. There are a number of criteria to measure the quality of the effect on the participant. One is their faces, the attention span. You can photograph it, it can be recorded. And the more important one is their enthusiasm in sharing it on. I've had this numerous experiences. Even 12-year-old kids saying, I am going to do this with my mommy and daddy. Now that, to me, speaks a lot about its effectiveness. If a 12-year-old says, I'm going to do it with someone, and then of course we've had grown-ups saying, I like it, I'm going to share it. I've had people angrily telling me, actually with anger, hey, this kind of philosophy and this way of sharing it, why haven't we learned it? I mean,
Yeah.
I said, well, there's no point in crying about it, we can do it. And one comment to Jayant, they're having the next session in Jacksonville, Florida.
So He's got a
Right,
team.
Jen?
He's going to do. Jayant is going to do that with a team of people.
Of course.
Good. So what from what you're saying, Aspi, that the when you do this with a group of people, you actually are empowering the participants themselves to do that again with some other people. Is that what?
Absolutely.
Is that what's
Yes,
happening?
absolutely. And that is one of the best ways of knowing that it's worked.
Right. So
And they feel enthusiastic enough and say, "Hey, I'm going to do it."
So it's simple enough, and they get enthusiastic enough, and once they get the idea, they then get the confidence that they can do it themselves with some other groups of people, which is the perfect way to propagate, scale up these kinds of things. You don't have to depend on the guru on the guru to impart all the knowledge and go to every place and give the workshop, but you actually have people who are learning what's their own strength and then coming out and teaching other people to learn their own strength, and so that's a perfect way to scale up into large numbers. And so perhaps we can figure out how this can be incorporated into what IUCE is doing with all of these various programs and workshops that we have. So Anil, I have unmuted you, but you have to unmute yourself. Anil, I know you're struggling with that, but the symbol shows me that you have you are unmuted. I mean, you are muted, but by yourself. There's nothing I can do. sorry, Anil. Let me see if I can change your status and make you an organizer. Maybe that might change the picture on your thing. It doesn't change anything. Well, yeah. I kicked you out of your mic, but I have to put it back in. No, it's still muted from your end. There's something on your system, audio system, Anil. That needs to, you have to click on something that's happening. Okay. Any other comments from from the audience? I think maybe let's see. I've got Prakash Bapat. Are you on audio? Ajit Shukla, you want to comment on it? Anything? I've unmuted some of you. Anybody want to chat? Have a dialogue here?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Ajit here.
Yeah, go ahead, Ajit.
I'm Ajit here. It's good. I joined it little late there, so could not get an opportunity to see in full or listen to in full there. But it's quite interesting to see that what we do in engineering is not only tell them to have the technical inputs, but in terms of building a team efforts there. So I see this a wonderful opportunity, but more interested to know that how and what kind of an activity has been done. It's really good and refreshing, very refreshing webinar there. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so it looks like we don't have any more comments except Anil, who's trying to get out of his muted status, which I can't do much about, Anil. I've been trying to do what I can, so I can dismiss you and then you can come back and let's see if that helps. But anyway, so the
I'd like to just one last comment.
Please go ahead, As. Go ahead, please. Fine.
Since the number of people have been asking what can be done, how can it be shared?
Exactly.
I think we can stay in touch through you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Anil, if they are in India.
Sure.
And we'll find out ways to share it.
Why don't there's one thing that we have done, Aspi. I was going to send you an invitation to this. It is the during our meetings that we have every 2 weeks, and those who are the other people who are in this attendees, let me point out to the attendees that there are several of us who are, including Jayant Sate and Prakash Bapat and others who are with us today, who are people from industry backgrounds, some still working, some retired, and the goal of this group is to find some way to connect engineering education with the real world of industry, and so we call them industry teaching fellows, and we're trying to figure out what is the best way that this can be encouraged, and so so we meet every 2 weeks to talk about various again, as using Aspi's words, possibilities, how we can what can be done, and one of the programs that we have started through IUCE is Anil, I finally unmuted you. Okay. Now you came back, and I finally unmuted you because you came back again, logged in, so it worked out. So one of the things I was just finishing up on this thought that I was on, that we have this gurukuls that have been formed. They formed the gurukuls as a concept, so that institutions have to transform their own engineering education. So we have 20 colleges, institutions from around the country who have now have Gurukul concept in their institution, and we are having a Gurukul summit in Hubli at BB College of Engineering on July 28th and 29th, and I'm hoping out of 20, maybe at least 10 colleges will be represented. Perhaps we can do a little bit of this, what you're suggesting, Aspi, with that group for a little small session on the 28th or 29th. If you're able to come and join us on the 28th and 29th in Hubli, then we can see what these colleges think, and maybe that is one mechanism to propagate and see if that can be taken forward. And we can explore that. Anil, it's on to you.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. No, I actually wanted to make a comment that, at GE, we were very familiar with the famous switching on electricity. Let's get the light, and there was light. But it needed somebody like Aspi to do the switch on inner light.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, did you hear me?
Yeah, we were hearing you. Go ahead.
The point was switching on inner light really needs a lot more. And this whole presentation that we have the inner light, I think, was very, very great. The other thing which I find is creativity of mind and creativity of heart. The creativity of heart is a very new dimension, and he has applied to yourself and to the whole world spectrum. So creativity of heart was something which was absolutely a new thing that I found. It was otherwise always restricted to creativity of mind. Aspi, can you throw something? I mean, you mentioned that the light is already there. How do we really get on having that creativity of heart?
You see, actually, we have activities. I mean, these are some of the activities which we have created, which involve the heart in a real meaningful, in-depth friendship. Instead of just, can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can all hear you. Go ahead, Aspi.
Okay. Normally, this is a difficult area to tackle, friendship and matters of the heart, because we tend to use the mind even in heart areas. And we say, friendship should be like this and should be like that, and I'm doing this for you and you're doing this for me, and you're basically using the mind. So we had to evolve creativity of the heart to share friendship of the heart. So there we found actually simple little games, personal interaction, cooperative games, where that feeling of friendship came. Hey, it's good. And in fact, we have developed a lot of cooperative games where you realize the value of cooperation. And then, so that was the creating. Normally, games means competition. I am greater than you, I beat you, you lose, I win. So how about creating games in which everyone wins? Everyone feels good about themselves and about each other. So those are some of the actual applied creativity of the heart.
Okay.
Hey, thanks, Aspi. Yeah.
So it looks like Aspi that what you have is a set of games and tools that may range anywhere from 10 minutes to 1 hour each, or whatever time frame it might be, that you can demonstrate to people, and then they are actually reasonably simple for the people who are experiencing it once or twice to be able to go and conduct those games themselves in their own setting. So here we have the opportunity for a large scale scaling up of an ecosystem within institutions using this approach, and it's really a lot of it sounds it actually sounds like a little bit like what we try to do in the engineering education in the United States, but not so much in India. Is that in the United States we have general education courses. We require every one of our engineering students to take at least one gen ed course in humanities or social sciences throughout the 8 semesters. So that's 8 gen ed courses. And the intent is that they learn about social sciences and humanities as a way to round out their whole personality, make them a complete human being, so that whatever engineering they do is in the context of the complete human being and the society. But of course, because of the way the courses are taught and so on, it doesn't quite serve that purpose. What I can see is what you're saying, Aspi, is you were using some of your approaches can actually serve the same purpose of creating the same, creating a well-rounded engineer within the context of society and whatever else environment is around them, so that they can use the engineering skills in a more mature, responsible, and personally satisfying means. And so that is the kind of ecosystem that I'm thinking perhaps we can start experimenting with. What are your thoughts, Aspi and Anil?
Well, I think it's wonderful, and we can not only start it, it can be really successful.
Great. Okay, so let us end at this point. Anil, any last words?
No, that's fine. I think it's a new beginning for me also, and I would the first word really is it's the right way to get in, and we also always had humanities, ethics and logic and all that, but that was just one part of the subject. Here, actually developing your whole self. Is a very right approach, and I think engineers need to have that.
Okay, good. So we'll follow up, and hopefully I'll send you the details, Aspi, about the meeting in one meeting in Hubli and one in Bangalore. We'll be having meetings, and I'll send you that, and we'll make arrangements for you to be able to come there, and then maybe we can start playing around a little bit within ourselves first, and within the groups that are there, and then try to see how to take it forward, because this is really exciting. It's really the whole concept of the complete human being, engineer as being a complete human being, which is what we're trying to do through Gen Ed and other things. But I think you have found a different kind of a very interesting way to do this without formal courses being taught to the students. I think it makes a lot more sense to do it the way you're doing. That's fantastic. So great. Okay, so thank you all.
Krishna, just one comment, if I may.
Sure.
This is Jen.
Go ahead, Jen. Yeah.
If you're talking about Aspi coming to Hubli, I hope Aspi can go there. There is he takes what I saw was about 3 to 4 hour program. If you can videotape it, because not all of us will be able to be in Hubli.
Right.
And if you can videotape that and then share that with more of us, the different schools as well as different the ITF members, I think that would be very worthwhile.
Sure, absolutely. We'll do that. We'll videotape whatever sessions we do at either Bangalore or Hubli, and see. Great. So thank you everybody for joining us. And Prakash Bapat says, if Aspi agrees to join Hubli, perhaps he can do this. And same thing that Jayant just mentioned. And everybody else says thank you so much. So Jai Ho Aspi and Jai Ho everybody else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.